Gomez inspires and I love people. And I came here to impact your life. Everybody that's here right now, you're here for a reason. So what do you have to do? Who do you have to become to obtain that millionaire dream? See, to have more, you must be more. There's a future you waiting for you to come out. There's a future you that's counting on you. Your family, they're rooting for that future you. Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, where we motivate you, we inspire you, and yes, we're going to educate you. We got a special treat. I have a dear friend of mine all the way from the beautiful, beautiful city of Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, Sophie Zollmann. How you doing, my sister? How you been?
Danielle, it's so good to be here. I'm doing most excellent, and life is good no matter what's going on. And I'm excited to be here to chat with you. It's been a while since we've hung out, and I'm gonna love every minute of it today.
Yes, well, thank you for joining us. I've been excited, looking forward to our episode. Do me a favor, give a brief introduction. Who is Sophie? That way the world knows who you are here on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show.
Sophie Zollmann is originally a farm girl from Southern Illinois. I call myself the Queen of Poker and the founder of FMD Strategic Partners. I have many missions and goals in life. I love the beach. I love my grandson who's about to be 5. He keeps me very active and on my toes. But I am very mission based in life these days with multiple businesses, multiple goals and aspirations. With one of my most exciting ones today is to be the first woman to win the main event at the World Series of Poker in Las Vegas. It's a dream I've had for almost 20 years, and I'm this close to getting there and making it happen.
Well, here, I'm gonna put $100 on you right now. Let's go.
All righty, let's do it.
So let me ask you this. How does a farm girl end up in becoming an entrepreneur in today's business world? How do you go from being a farm girl from that's not an easy task, but the mindset shift to becoming an entrepreneur. What inspired you to want to go into entrepreneurship, Sophie?
Well, back in the, when I was that farm girl, my mom and dad were raising 5 kids. I was the fourth of 5, and we all worked on the farm. We learned how to work, good work ethic. We learned, the ups and downs, the good and bad of having your own business. My dad grew that farm into a really great business. And then in the farm crash in the late 80s, he lost it all. But he didn't give up. I mean, yes, he did not farm anymore, but he didn't give up. He went and did other things, other careers that still left him as an independent person. He didn't go get a job. He went and did other things that allowed him to still be an entrepreneur of sorts. And back about 25 years ago, as a stay-at-home mom who needed to make money for the family, it became clear to me that getting a job, a regular job, was just going to go to daycare. It really wasn't going to, help the family finances. My husband's income was, not enough. I needed to contribute. And so I went into the online space as a freelancer looking to see what I could do. So my first entry into that world was a remote job long before the pandemic, and that became a thing, as a virtual customer service representative for an e-commerce company. And that was my foot in the door. That was my taste of what it's like, not only to work from home, but to be an entrepreneur, helping him build his business. By the end of the 4.5 years with him, I was running his online company that we had grown to $500,000 a year. And I loved it, except for the fact that he was only paying me $12 an hour to do it. But I
Wow.
knew that's what I wanted to do and needed to do to continue to grow my family. And I did. I left because of the insignificant pay and the stress of it all. Became a stay-at-home mom again for about 8 months. And then, home ownership, the joy that it is also
Yes.
not a joy when it starts breaking and falling apart. Um, Forced
Well,
me
well,
back
well,
to
well, well,
work.
let's slow down. Let's slow down. So, ladies and gentlemen, get out your pen, get out your paper, because Sophie's about to drop some more massive wisdom, and I love her energy. And you know what we say here on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show? What you write down, you retain. So take notes, because I want you to go back and study them, because she's gonna drop a lot of wisdom. You said a couple of things that caught my attention. What are 2 or 3 things that you brought from the farm life into the entrepreneurship as you started as a CSR,
that helped you to become successful? What are two or three things that you adapted from your father or from just yourself and your siblings doing farm work? What are two or three things you brought into entrepreneurship that has allowed you to be a success? Because now you're still here, so obviously there's a formula there that we can learn from you.
Absolutely. First and foremost, work ethic. Do the work. And then we were on a pig farm, so it was stinky, gross work. But you stand strong, you do the work. The smell is only there for a while. You get to go take a shower afterwards, those kinds of things. But work ethic, hard work, continuing to do the work to grow the business, to do the things that are gonna. I mean, my father pivoted different, we had a different kind of farm at different times in our lives. I was the fourth of five. Before I was born, it was a cow farm. And then it also had agriculture. After I was born, when cows kind of didn't work for him anymore, he pivoted to pigs because pigs became a thing. Pork production became a thing. And he still kept that agriculture going on in the back end, multi-revenue streams. Hello. That's another lesson from my life on the farm is he didn't just do one thing. He pivoted when times shifted and he needed to create, a different revenue stream that was going to be more successful. And even to the bitter end, when he lost it all, he still took that, sold the land, most of the land to a developer to create an amazing complex that he was a part of in the initial days of it, but then he moved on to other things from there. I learned resilience. I learned to keep going.
Mm.
I learned hard work. I learned to pivot when things change in the economy, in the world, all those different things I learned from being a farmer's daughter in Southern Illinois.
I love that. So, ladies and gentlemen, think about what she just said. Where are you at in your business? Are you still using a strategy from 5 years ago? Are you wondering why your revenue's down, but you're using a strategy and technology from 5 years ago, even from a year ago? Because what was hot last year is not going to be hot today, and products shift, products go out of style. But maybe your service, maybe you're like, man, what's going on with me? When's the last time you updated your brand? But I love what Sophie said is that there's multiple streams of income. Let's go deeper on this because I have two philosophies on this. I believe it's a great concept. I have multiple streams of income myself. I'm gonna ask you a trivial question. Do you think it's too easy to do that and then it's your business suffers? So let me ask you, do you think someone can have multiple streams of income too soon? And the reason I say that is I've seen now in our business that we have, right? We have our Millionaire Mind Boot Camp, our brand, we have our Sticker Shock Speaking Academy, and then of course our DGE book publishing. And these are all different multiple streams of income. But do you believe that somebody can start too soon on the second stream when the first stream isn't already established yet, that there needs to be some establishment then? So what are your thoughts on that, Sophie?
I completely agree with that because, it's that jack of all trades, master of none philosophy. If you just start throwing out random revenue streams that you really haven't even mastered one of them, and while, there is no such thing as perfection and complete mastering of it, but you can get it to where it is a solid, well functioning revenue stream that doesn't require a ton of your time because that's the other piece of it. These multiple revenue streams can't all require you, the business owner, be the main focal point and executor and whatnot of it. It needs to be built around a team, a strategy, a plan, the technology, the different things that can, in most cases, automate it, or it's designed to where when you are involved, it's in a timely fashion. It's when you can be there fully focused. Because until you master one revenue stream and one line of work, so to speak, down to the marketing, down to the lead generation, down to the sales, down to the delivery, and everything that goes with it. And don't forget the amazing customer experience that they need to see to make that. Once you hit that, that makes it so much easier to do different streams of revenue because you can take that model and adapt it to the next revenue stream, even if it's completely different audience, all those things, but you learned what works here. So you take it and you adapt it to your next one and your next one, and you go into those other revenue streams completely well informed, strategized, knowing what to start and work with to build it, get it going, and then move on to the next one. It becomes a process and a system, something that is rinse and repeat, almost literally, with the appropriate adaptations.
I love it. I love what you're saying because what I've seen is I have a saying that says diluted focus gets you diluted results. And we only have so much focus within a day. And ladies and gentlemen, maybe you're thinking, man, maybe do I need another revenue stream? Well, yes, you do, but are you ready for it? Because what happens is you start too soon and you can barely focus on what you're doing because you haven't extended your capacity to handle that level of business that you have currently with the one revenue stream. And then many people make the mistake and start the other one, but they don't have the focus, and diluted focus is going to water down your profits. I've seen businesses go out of business because they did it too soon. So think about what Sophie said. Do you have systems in place? Do you have processes in place? Is it already ready for rinse and repeat where you can maybe use that to help you in the other revenue stream? Another thing too that comes in this is that is it an alignment? People say, well, Daniel, you speak, you have book publishing, and you're a coach. Like those are three different things. Yeah, but if you think about it, it's like I'm a speaker. And when you start speaking, they say every speaker needs a book. So I wrote my first book, then my second book, and then organically, because we have our Sticker Shock Speaking Academy, a lot of our speakers needed a publisher, and then one of our clients said, "Hey, God told me you're going to write my book and publish it." And then next thing you know, 300 books later, but it's all organic within itself, right? They come to Sticker Shock, they want to write a book. I'll coach them through the process of being a speaker or in business. But or somebody comes in wanting to do a book and then like, hey, you have a speaking academy, I want to speak. How important is it to have everything just in alignment and to where it's easier that way also, Sophie?
Alignment is key, and having multiple revenue streams that feed off each other and feed each other is the most ideal way to do it, because again, you're not only rinsing and repeating, but then you're building an ecosystem, a world where your different revenue streams all relate to each other, and one person can go to all three of them in almost any order, and build out something because they are interrelated. You're a speaker, so you can teach it,
Yes.
and you've written a book successfully and published it. These are things you know how to do. You've done yourself. You're not just picking
Yes.
some cookie cutter strategy that somebody over here does and sells and trying to make it your own. You're actually building relevant, aligned businesses based on your experience, your knowledge, and your success at those things, not just going, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to create a book publishing company, even though I've never written a book. I've never published it. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway because that seems like a thing I should do and how I can make money.
People do that though, don't they?
They
People
do.
people people do
They
that.
100% do.
And listen to what Sophie's saying. Write this word down, ladies and gentlemen. Is everything I'm doing in the same vertical? Is everything I'm doing in the same vertical? And what I mean by that is if I was to be like, hey, I'm a speaker, I'm a book publisher, you know what? I'm gonna go buy a landscaping company. It has nothing to do with what we're doing, even though lawns are the color of money, right? But it's a different vertical. It has nothing to do, nothing in alignment. Or if Sophie was to say, "Hey, I'm gonna go start a bakery," well, you've never even baked in your whole life. Why would you do that? So is it in the same vertical of what you're doing? Talking about verticals, one thing that I admired about you is right, FMD Strategic Partners. When you launched this part of your business, what was the importance of that for you?
For me, it was actually about being in complete alignment with who I am, what I love to do, and walking that talk. Because for so many years prior to reinventing, relaunching FMD Strategic Partners from what I've done in the past, I was doing things that I thought would make money. And while I was doing things I was good at, I was doing things I didn't love doing. But I was preaching to everybody going, do what you love, delegate the rest, do this, do that. And I was not walking my talk. And it finally, after, I started my business as a virtual assistant in 2009, evolved it and grew it into something completely different. And then in 2019, I lost it all by going exclusive with a client from years of working together, and then lost it. But I had decided that wasn't the thing to do before I lost it. And thankfully was smart enough to create another revenue stream before I actually lost that client, and was able to start over with something already in place. I just got to focus on that one thing instead of splitting my focus. And I grew that right back into a very major business. And then I combined it with other things and reinvented myself in 2021 yet again. But this whole time I was pushing the vertical of, I'm good at operations, I'm good at marketing, let's do them together, let's make it work, whether we like it or not, whether people understand it. And finally in 2024, with some very good mentorship I had, I got to get real with myself. And I got to say, you know what? I really hate doing operations. I really hate it. I don't want to do it anymore. The clients aren't the best clients to have. Trying to do operations and marketing under one roof just doesn't really mix. It's hard to package, it's hard to sell, it's hard to make money at, it's hard to truly serve people I want to serve in the way I want to serve. And so I said, this is it. I'm getting rid of operations. I'm just going to do marketing, but I have to do something different and unique from all the other marketing companies out there. And again, this mentorship showed me the path to fractional marketing department for people who are independent and privately owned, fighting against the corporate monoliths that are taking over their industries, their livelihoods, and in many cases, ruining their professions because they no longer take care of the people. They take care of their bottom line and their wallets. They don't give a damn about how well they're taking care of patients or legal clients or professional service clients. All they care about is the dollar. And I'm here on a new mission to support the independent, privately owned, legal, financial, medical, professional service providers who started their business, who are there and in it for their people and their communities. Yes, they want to make money. Don't get me wrong. They don't want to be broke, but they can't compete against that corporate level, enterprise level marketing that those monoliths have. And I can give that to them at a fraction of the cost. And together we can build their mission of serving their people and their communities better. And I'm a part of that. And that makes me feel so good.
Are you an aspiring speaker? Do you have a book that you've been wanting to write for months, maybe even years? Or are you an aspiring podcaster? You want to start that podcast like the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show and don't know where to start? Well, at Daniel Gomez Enterprises, we can help you do all three. We can help you become that paid speaker, share your story to the world, write your book, and get your podcast launched and help you produce it. We'd love to help you. Give us a call at 210-663-5954. That's 210-663-5954. We can help you become that paid speaker, write that book, and launch your podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a call now.
Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Do you love what you're doing? Sophie was honest with herself in 2024 and went inside to find within herself that, man, this isn't what I don't enjoy doing this jam anymore. And it's okay. And maybe you're not happy. Maybe your revenue's stuck, right? You hit a ceiling because you're not really enjoying it. So you're not even putting in the passion. And the truth is this, Sophie, your clients can hear your conviction or lack of when you're dialoguing with them for what you do. And many times,
100%.
I always say this, before anybody buys your product, before anybody buys your services, they're buying you. They're buying your energy. And if you're showing up with negative 10-cent energy, if you're showing up like, man, I just want to get through the day, people can sense that. And I think people may not. So write that down. Ask yourself that question right now. Do I really have a passion for what I'm doing? Do I really enjoy what I'm doing? And can my customers hear my conviction? I love talking to you, Sophie, because every time I talk to you, you're always upbeat. You're always passionate about what you're doing. And I can feel I can feel that. And sometimes we have the illusion that people can't feel that. And how important is it to be aware, not just to do your expertise in whatever industry or whatever you choose to do in business as an entrepreneur or a small business owner, but how important is it, have you found out, to really convey that conviction? Or I say this a lot of times. We're wondering, man, does Sophie believe in what I'm saying? And what Sophie's saying, does Daniel believe what he's telling me and what he's saying? Right? And we think that no, the client, the prospect is saying, do you believe in what you're telling me? Do you really believe in the product and service that you're trying to deliver? Give me your perception on that.
Well, yes. I mean, we ultimately we have to believe in what we do. We have to love what we do, and we have to, it has to be a mission. It can't just be something to make money. And a lot of what I was doing all those years was doing something to make money. And I really wasn't, it wasn't fulfilling. And people, yes, people could tell I really wasn't that enthusiastic about it. When I relaunched FMD Strategic Partners officially in 2025 and started talking about it, my passion and my fire behind it came out, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Sophie, you are so lit up right now. You are so on fire. I can tell this passion is real. This is really your thing, and you mean it, and you want to make it happen, and you are on a mission." And as I developed the whole mission behind the independent, privately owned practitioners, it comes from my heart and soul because I live in Nashville, where the five biggest corporate healthcare entities are headquartered. And for the last 13 years, I have experienced their horrific healthcare while they grow bigger. Their bottom line gets bigger, but my healthcare services get worse and worse. And it is a true, heartfelt, personal passion because I am living it in Nashville, Tennessee, right now in this moment.
So as you're going through the process of relaunching, I'm gonna go back to what we're talking about. You said you developed that resiliency from the farmland. You were right. You saw your dad. Think about what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. You're wondering why your business is stuck. Maybe you haven't even hit 100,000. Maybe you haven't hit a quarter million, and maybe you're like, why am I stuck? Why am I not hitting that 500,000 mark? It's because when things get hard, you don't do the hard things. Listen to what Sophie said. Her dad was a cow farmer before she was born, and then he became a pig farmer with some agriculture. He did what he needed to do to get the business going. But even after the farm collapsed, like she mentioned, he still stayed in entrepreneurship and continued going. And that legacy is being seen in you now, Sophie. But so many people, they hit the hard times and they give up. They
They do.
complain, they quit. And I want you to hear this, ladies and gentlemen. I really want you to hear this. It's going to cost you more than you think. And I'm not even talking about financially. I'm talking about the heartbreak, the betrayal, it's going to cost you tears because you're going to cry because you're going to love employees, but sometimes you outgrow employees or it just doesn't work out, or customers that man, you have a great relationship with them and all of a sudden something happens. And just understand that it's going to build. This is what I've seen. It builds your character and it makes you mature. And I see a lot of grown men and women in business, and what I mean grown over the age of 20, that they don't want to change, but they want everybody else around them to change. And for me, I've had to learn, Sophie, since the last time that we spoke a couple of months ago. It's like I'm still maturing and growing in character. How important is it that you, as the owner, continue to mature and evolve in character yourself?
It is very important. It because we are human beings and we evolve, we change, we grow. If we don't, we stagnate and die. And that's pretty literal. I mean, you may not die right away, literally, but inside you're dying, you're physically dying, and you hasten the decline of your life by not evolving and growing and changing and doing what needs to be done to live, to thrive, not just survive. Because if you're living a life of just surviving, you're not living. This is a life to live to the fullest. And the only way you can do that is being passionate about what you do, doing what you love, and never giving up. In 2019, when I lost that exclusive client, I could have given up. My husband even looked at me in the eye and said, as I'm bawling my eyes out, he goes, "You know, you can quit if you want to. We no longer need your revenue, your business, your income to support us. You can quit. You can just go do whatever you want." And I looked at him and I said, "I'm not done yet. There's more to be done here. And I don't want to quit. I do want this marketing agency that I just so happened to put together. God, Spirit guided me into that. And, I knew there was more I needed to do, I wanted to do. I wasn't going to give up, but I had the support system that allowed me to do that. And that is one of the biggest factors in success, in keeping going, in resilience is you've got to have a support system around you that believes in you, that loves you, that cheers you on, that supports you through it all. Because if you have any naysayers going, "See, I told you couldn't do it."
I'm gonna ring a bell for that one right there. That's dead on. Why is that important though?
It's important because you see and understand that you're not alone. You're not doing it alone. You don't have to do it alone. So many people, especially women entrepreneurs, think they have something to prove, that they have to do it alone. They don't need help. They can't get help because that means they're weak. That means they can't succeed without it. And I'm here to tell you that is 100% wrong.
Yeah.
It is not weakness. It is actually a superpower and strength to have the humility and the knowing that you need help, that you don't know what to do in a particular case. You don't know how to use this software. You don't know how to strategize your business, whatever it is. You don't have to do it alone. You need people that are experts in it. You need to surround yourself, that one saying, surround yourself with the 5 people who are where you
Yeah.
want to be, not where you are, where you want to be, because you can strive to be there and they're going to pull you up with them. You're not going to drag them down because they're where you want to be. They know what it takes and they know where you've been, and they're going to lift you up and not you pull them down because they're like, "Come with us, rise
Yeah,
up with us."
and as you're saying this, I think it's vital. You said something about your husband supporting you. You have to have the support of your spouse. I think I'm yet to meet a man or woman entrepreneur that's been successful where the wife or the husband hasn't been supportive. I wouldn't be where I'm at without my wife has been supportive and when imagine she was stage 3 breast cancer and I come home and I tell her God gave me this idea to become a motivational speaker. I think any other woman would have probably said, "Are you dumb? Are you crazy?" And it was a stretch from because I never even know how to speak. But she supported me and she says, "Well, if that's what God told you, do it." And 8 years later, we have $1 million business. We have a corporate office now, a real corporate office with our conference room. And even we moved in here February 1st, Sophie, and I had to take a moment and I sat right here and I cried and I was reflecting back of man when we started in our old house in our old bedroom. We had a little glass desk, and as you're sharing the story of your dad, it's like the hard work, the resilience, the pivoting, the not knowing, but not giving up. And my wife was there cheering me on. And yes, I probably broke a couple of glasses here and there just from frustration because you're trying to figure it out. I
Oh yeah.
definitely talk about it in my book, The Makings of a Millionaire Mind, where I beat up the recycle bin. But it's because there's not like sometimes it's part of the process where you got to go through that. So I love
Oh,
you sharing
100%.
that, and I love that you said that about your husband. If you had one word of wisdom in business that you want to share with the audience, what's the one wisdom that you would share when it comes to business that you've learned that's helped you tremendously?
Don't go it alone because that's the only way you can have resilience and never give up. have a support system, have people to help you and support you, because entrepreneurship in and of itself is a lonely one-man band, so to speak, but only if you let it be that way. You have a choice. Choose to do it well, and to do it no matter what, with the help and support of of people around you that can help you get there.
What's one of the hardest business decisions that you've made for yourself?
This pivot that I did in 2024 was literally the hardest decision I've ever made, even though it's been tapping on my shoulder for years. Literally for years. I had that little angel devil thing going on my shoulders. You really need to not do this. You really need to do this. No, you need to do it. I fought myself for so many years, knowing that marketing is my thing. And that's what I need to do. The focus on the thing you love. And so that making that pivot, because Daniel, in all transparency, when I made that decision in 2024, I gutted my business of all but one client, and my revenue literally went in the toilet. And that one client stuck by me through 2025 until his money supporting our work together ran out and he had to part ways. So I literally gutted my business to do this, and it's still gutted at this moment. And I'm not giving up. I continue to do the work to get my message out there, to show my mission to the world, because I know into my heart, soul, and everything else that this is the thing. This is the one. This is my mission. This is who I'm meant to be, what I'm meant to do, and how I'm meant to serve. And I know it's going to take time, because it's such a brand new thing that nobody knows about. And it takes time to get it out there, to explain it, to get in front of my new, very special audience that I've never served before. But I'm not giving up, and I'm not going to let go. I'm going to keep going until I can be that renewed, revived fractional marketing department company that's making millions of dollars.
I love it. I love the angel analogy. Since we touched on that as we're getting ready to land the ship, what is a scripture or a quote that you rely on times of adversity to keep you going?
There are so many from so many different people, and honestly, I have to pull from the Harry Potter world. The Harry Potter nerd extraordinaire here. You know, it's the Dumbledore quote, and I'm not going to be able to quote it exactly, but it has to do with getting out of the dark. To get out of the darkness, one just has to turn on the light. When you're walking in the darkness, just turn on the light. And whatever that light is for you, whether it's God, spirit, universe, whether it's talking to a friend, a spouse, you just got to turn on the light. Again, it's a choice. You can wallow in it, or you can choose to turn on the light and keep going.
Wow. What an episode, ladies and gentlemen. I told you, go back and watch this again, study your notes. So much wisdom was shared by Sophie. Thank you so much for joining us, Sophie, and what a blessing having you here. Ladies and gentlemen, go right now and get a copy of our book, The Makings of a Millionaire Mind. It's in Espanol now. I'm so excited. We did the Spanish edition in the making for the past 2 years. It's live. It's on Amazon, Kindle, hardback. Go get your copy. In Espanol, yes, in Spanish. So thank you so much for making us one of the top podcasts around the world. Thank you so much again, Sophie, for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week with another amazing guest here on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. And thank you once again for making us one of the top podcasts worldwide. We'll see you at the Makings of a Millionaire Mind Bootcamp here in San Antonio, Texas, May 15th and 16th. Until then, have a blessed day, and thank you for joining us. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you, Daniel.
Everybody say with me, I am of God's economy. No one's going to buy your product. No one's going to buy your service until they buy you first. I'm not up here because I did it. I'm up here because greater is the power behind me, which is Almighty God, than any task in front of me. Say this, I must open my heart to receive the message. See, the change has to happen here before it happens here. Because if you're here and you don't open your heart to what God has for you today, you're going to miss it. I want to anchor this in your heart. I want to anchor this in your soul. I'm going to leave here today with my heart empty because I'm going to pour it all into you.